What up, y'all, and welcome to another great episode of Or Clickbait. I'm your boy Dante.
And I'm your girl Daysha E.
And y'all know what we do. We take the hottest in sports, music, and entertainment, and we decide if it's for the culture.
Or simply for clicks.
Hey! Now, we got the Bella Dawn, the Day to Dawn, with her hair all blowed out and fresh and sweet.
It's your girl. I ain't gonna overly stroke it because then it's gonna stand up because, soft hair too fear against the edges.
Show them you got edges.
Not gonna do too much, but yeah,
Show them the edges.
They can see. Zoom in.
Stiff where?
Never. Yeah. What's going on, Dante?
What's good, Day?
Nothing. Honestly, just, a lot of life changes, a lot of moving and grooving and packing and cleaning up and preparing space for new blessings and new vibes, It's just a lot going on, but a lot going on in a good way. I started back teaching classes. So I'm happy about that. We are in full swing with my teens working it out. And yeah, like everything is everything right now. What about you?
Everything is everything. That's my shit.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to me, things are pretty good. Now, I did start back my whole HBCU experience today.
Okay.
And when I say HBCU,
yeah,
experience.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the whole one-stop shop, financial aid, and all of that gritty stuff.
Have fun.
That drives you crazy at the beginning of the semester.
Man, at least you're doing it. I'm proud of you.
I know, right?
Good
last
job.
year.
Yeah, good job for getting back in there. It's almost time to wrap it up. It do go by fast. I tell people all the time, we spend so much time like contemplating life and like things that we want to do that you waste more time being in like deliberation mode or trying to like muster up the courage to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You better off just jumping into it nose wide open head first and figuring it out as you go, because at least you're getting through it. So,
and I feel that, to your point, it's amazing that you said that, because a lot of times that does happen. Mm-hmm. We spend a lot of time just thinking about the things that we want to do, or like, let's just say we got something we want to achieve.
Yeah, we manifest.
Or even if it's an everyday task that needs to be done, we spend more time thinking about it than actually executing it. And before you know it, you spent more time in less of the execution mode.
Yeah.
And you look back and you say, I just wasted 3 months on something that could have been done in literally a month.
Yeah, and you mentally exhausted and you starting out in burnout because you wasted a lot of brain space just contemplating. So y'all just get to it. Whatever it is you want to do, get to it and just do it. As you can see, we are here getting to it and we're doing it because we want to.
Word of the day, do your shit, bro.
That's a phrase of the day. It's not a word. But we'll take it. Do your shit, bro.
Put it on the shirt.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about people who doing their shit.
Yeah.
My girl, I'm talking about my girl.
Know. And then you introduce the most wholesome topic we have with a cuss word. God forgive them.
Wow. Well, yeah, they know what my heart is.
They do.
They'll
be all right.
Now, so anyway, my dog Jonathan Majors and Megan Good has sat down with Lecrae on his podcast, The Deep End, this past weekend, and they talked about their relationship. They talked about some of the things that they've been through. They talked about cancel culture.
Yep.
They just went through a bunch of different topics that relates to where they are now and where they came from. And when I tell you, everybody who knows me, they know I am a Jonathan Majors and Megan Good stan. I do love this relationship. I love their union. I love everything about the whole situation. And I'm usually not a couples goals type of person.
Yeah.
But I am always for the journey. And I've watched their journey. I watched it unfold. I watched how she has poured into him and how he's poured into her. So for me, watching this interview was kind of refreshing, to say the least. One of the things that I like that they talked about is, so when we talk about Megan Good, she brought up the situation where she felt lost after her last marriage. Mm-hmm. And she just felt like she gave up on God. You know,
she said she was angry at him at the time.
She was like, you basically brought all my biggest fears to my life. Like everything I feared, now I'm living them.
Yeah.
From the marriage to the divorcing of the marriage, how it went, the up and down, all of that.
Yeah.
Like, so she lived it. Then she met Jonathan Majors, and she said she felt like that's how she found her way back to God, because if she wasn't praying for herself, she knew she had to pray for him.
Yeah.
So she poured all of that energy into him, which found her way back to God. For me, I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when I think about relationships, I think about the idea of being of service to the next person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what makes the best relationships, when you go into it as in, how can I be of service to you? How can I pour into you? How can I help you?
Yeah.
How can I rebuild or build you? And not as a project, but just if you're going to be somebody I'm invested in, how can I invest in you?
Yeah.
You know, for the greater good. So seeing that that's what she did when she got with Jonathan Majors, and look how far they have come thus far. That's one of the things that I took away from their interview that made me so glad to even just sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I truly enjoyed that interview too, because I think I pretty much like the same part as you. Like, I like the fact that Lecrae kind of takes us through like a journey of some of their family history and some of their past traumas and things that they dealt with, and how those things kind of led them to each other, and how they were able to be like fuel for each other throughout those times. Like, both of them had very public scrutinizing situations. Like, you had Jonathan Majors going through his whole situation, you had Megan going through her divorce situation, and once they kind of like found each other, he basically said that something that he loved about Megan was the fact that she was a fearless person, and he was a person who had a lot of courage and didn't mind doing things, but he wouldn't consider himself to be fearless. So she kind of like matched his energy and made up for where he lacked. So though he had the courage to do, he would be scared, and she would be like, what is fear? Fear is not real. We're not doing that. So they really do seem like an evenly yoked couple. I can say when watching the interview, I found myself going in and out of trying to read if they were in actor and actress mode, or if this was a genuine conversation, because the reality of the situation is their jobs are to get into character. So are they able to turn on characters for their own interviews? For sure. I'm almost sure that they are, but this felt genuine to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching it felt genuine to me. He found moments to praise her and how she has helped him through, and he found moments and she found moments to praise him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and vice versa. So I think it was a very refreshing interview. And if y'all don't know or have not watched, please tune into Lecrae's podcast, because he has a very good podcast where he travels through so many spaces with the people that he brings onto his podcast, and it doesn't feel extra churchy. It doesn't feel extra like Bible thumpy or like extra religious or anything like that. He's literally having regular dialogue and real dialogue and fruitful conversation. It is leaving out the drama, you know what I'm saying? But it's also somewhat incorporating the same trials and tribulations that brought people to where they are today. So I think it's such a tasteful podcast.
Now, one of the things that I did like that you just said too, when it came to their whole interview, is how they were evenly yoked, right?
Yeah.
And I know in pre-pro, some of the things that we talked about was how at first the interview felt like it was kind of like leaning towards Megan.
Yeah.
Like just praising her. One of the things that I can appreciate about both of them in this interview is even when they felt that energy, if they felt it, they made sure to praise each other.
Yeah.
Like literally, she threw it to him, he threw it to her. And that's what I mean by the beauty of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's where I see the purity.
Yeah.
That's where I see, like, this is not just for show. Because half the interview, he's spending time trying to uplift her, and she's spending the interview uplifting him.
Yeah, and it seemed like
she can't even bask in her own glory for uplifting him.
And you see, they both seemed like they had moments like, wow, that's how you feel about me?
Right.
Like, and I think that's so awesome, because it is nice to sit back and hear, you know what I'm saying, what it is that your partner feel about you, because you usually with people very often, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of touch and go, like I appreciate you, I love you, but sometimes you don't get the time to sit down and break down your full reasoning behind the appreciation or your full reasoning behind the love. And I feel like this was like very eye-opening for them. I feel like they left this interview and was like, oh my God, I love you a little bit more. So I think that this was an interview that was definitely for the culture. It sets the tone of podcasting. You know, it sets the tone of we can get good stories without it being messy. Even if it is some mess in the midst of the situation, there is some beauty amongst the ugly things. And I just think that this was a very like cultural, peaceful, loving just situation to watch, honestly.
I'll give this cultural, and I'll give it cultural because also for me it starts that whole conversation of pouring into your relationship and being that person. This is the idea of what we really call ride or die.
Yeah.
We hear people talk about a ride or die relationship. Oh, you gonna hold that man down while he in jail, blah 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 blah, all that type of stuff. No, but this is true ride or die. This is the woman or the man that's gonna pray for you, that's gonna hold you down, that's gonna uplift you, that's gonna build with you. They built a whole empire together right now. Their whole fitness brand. Like these are things that they're saying we're gonna pour into each other and we're invested. We're doing this together. Like the whole thing is together, and that's why I say I will give this cultural because it show an idea of relationships in this time that I think people need to see.
Yeah.
We see so much toxicity on social media all the time, and stuff like this goes under the radar because nobody cares a lot of times until it's drama.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
Yeah, I do too. Now, you guys, KITH has returned after 6 years of being MIA from doing runway shows, and they shut it down with their fashion show called The Institution. Now, they basically shut down Lafayette Street in New York, in Manhattan, in front of their storefront, and completely stopped traffic and had a fashion show outside. This right here was actually really dope because they had a little bit of everybody in attendance, from Jim Jones to Carmelo Anthony, and we even saw Dave East, walking in the fashion show. But it was some faces out there, and they basically debuted their fall and winter collection that'll be coming out. And let's just say that it was a great mashup between their bags and their collaborations with people like Adidas. And I think this was a really good way to kind of like come back out after being a brand that has not done any runway shows in a nice little minute. It was good to come out and kind of like merge all of the different pieces of merch and all of the different collaborations to make sure that everything was on display. So this was really dope. And like I said, like the stars was out.
I was always a KITH fan, so seeing this like kind of made me smile.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first got put on the KITH, I was like high school, maybe 9th grade, maybe 8th grade.
Yeah.
And they had these shoes that I really wanted on their website, and I swear to God, my dad would not get them to me. He was like, no. Mostly because he thought I was gonna mess them up. It was like I didn't take care of my stuff back then, so it was like I'm not paying all that money for them shoes, and you finna wear them out to go to the park. No. Now looking back, it was like as I got older and I started getting my own stuff, like KITH was one of those brands that I was like, I'm going to KITH as soon as I go to New York. And then they got a store in Miami. So I became a KITH stan. And so like now seeing them back on the runway and seeing how they're coming around with their new brand of clothing, it's just all of it there. All of it is like, I love it.
Yeah.
It takes me back to like my kid space.
Yeah.
Nostalgic almost like that.
Yeah, I love that this collection, it give like streetwear, but it also give like upscale at the same time. Like it's a perfect mashup between the two. Like it gives
couture and street.
It give all-purpose attire, like
stuff
that you could wear all day. Like you could literally run meetings and go to meetings and run errands in it, and then you could turn around and show up to an outing or a booking or something like that in the same look, and it will translate throughout the whole day. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm the kind of girl that love me a good look that will be all purpose, so we ain't got to keep changing throughout the day. So KITH, I feel like y'all did what y'all needed to do. With that being said, I will give y'all a cultural stamp for this.
It's definitely for the culture.
Cool.
Definitely for the culture. Now, oddly enough, something else that's for the culture for me today is a conversation with the young lady she used to be on Love and Hip Hop.
Yep.
If we all do know her, Jessica Dime, right? Jessica Dime just recently did an interview where she talked about being a role model to kids unknowingly. Yeah. Right? In the interview, she was basically asked about like getting a BBL, being a stripper, etc. And she said that she regrets how she came off to children. Yeah. Because she would talk to little girls, and little girls would tell her, "Oh, you was my role model." And when she asked them how old they are, and then think back to how long ago that she was their role model, these girls were basically adolescents. Yeah. So she started, it got really emotional because it's like, wait, so I inspired you to get a BBL? I inspired you to be a stripper? Yeah. That was not my goal. Yeah. That's not what I wanted to do. I was just living my life. And it sparks a bigger conversation now from that I caught, which is, you know how they always say someone's always watching.
Yes.
You know, so you have to be careful what you do. You know, because even in now, we get caught up in our own vices every day, doing our own thing, and we don't realize that there's somebody sitting back watching every move we're making, and they're actually being inspired by those moves in so many different ways. And I think during that interview, she really was able to come to grips with that, and that's why I got so emotional, because it was like, wow, that's not what I want to be remembered for.
Yeah, that was definitely what took place. I think in that therapy session. So for some background information, so this is a show on E Entertainment, and it's called Botched Presents Plastic Surgery Rewind. So it's basically it's a compilation of like celebrities and influencers. We have Jessica Dime on this season, along with like Aubrey O'Day, and just people who have like outrageous or extensive plastic surgery, and these are basically people who want to, you know, rewind and undo some of the dramatic things that they've done to themselves. And I think that, just going back off of what you said, I think people often don't stop and think about the fact that influence can be positive and or negative. And that conversation where Jessica Dime was sitting down with the therapist that's on the show, I think she genuinely was broke down crying, because she just had a show on Now This TV where she was just grooming strippers, you know what I'm saying? Exotic dancers or adult entertainers and different things like that. And I think that she had realized that though she has a very sweet personality, and though she has shown herself to have like a pretty good character, you know what I'm saying? Like Jessica Dime is very unproblematic. She is somebody that I consider to be honest, a pretty decent person, like a pretty good person when it come down to like people that we've seen on these reality TV shows. And I think that sometimes we can put ourselves in a position where we are indirectly promoting the idea of glorifying money or glorifying like all of these enhancements and sex and all of these different things. And I just think that it's really refreshing to watch people unpack those type of things and realize like, oh, wow, I didn't sign up to be a role model, but somewhere is written that this is part of my journey and that I have to do this. So I love that she was able to speak up and be vulnerable about the fact that she had probably misled some people with some of the things that she's displayed, and that she want to work on, you know, a better way of displaying those things. So I'm not gonna lie, this was a conversation that was for the culture, because if you watch previous episodes or other episodes of this show, you will hear her say certain things like, I'm not against people getting plastic surgery, but I would advise women to get plastic surgery after they have their children or after certain body changes have happened. But she does not advise it to just outright happen or be something that you chasing. It also needs to be something that you make a conscious decision that I want this for me, and I want this because this is going to make me feel better, not because you're pressured. So.
Right. And there's a lot of peer pressure when it comes to that plastic surgery thing, especially nowadays. It always have been. Yeah. But nowadays with social media, it feels like it's at an all-time high. Yeah. Because, you know, all of these young girls are watching social media all the time, from like even 10, 12, 13 years old. So they're getting plastic surgery at 16, 17.
Yeah, even myself. Like, I definitely was watching people who had work done. And for a long time, one of my things was, I'm getting a boob job. I'm getting a boob job. I'm going to get a boob job. Like, and I had in my mind that I wanted a boob job since I was probably like in middle school. Mm-hmm. To be honest, just off of watching stuff. And for my own little personal things, you know what I'm saying? But you do have to be mindful of what you put out to the world, because it is honestly at the fingertips of any and everybody that is strong enough and smart enough to access it. And right now, everybody has socials.
Now let me ask you, when it comes to the whole plastic surgery thing, and when it comes to that idea of that and these young girls and how impressionable they are, do you blame the parents or do you actually blame the child?
I think it's
for you being a woman.
It's about the dialogue between the two, right? Because one, parents can censor what children are watching, but at the end of the day, parents do not have their kids 24 hours of the day. So your kids go to school, your kids have peers, your kids go to aftercare programs, whatever. So people are exposing them to different things every day. I think that it's just about a dialogue between the two, because kids are also just being kids by being, you know, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, nose wide open, and kind of like receptive to a little bit of everything. It's parents' jobs to teach children how to decipher through each thing, like, this is for me, this is not for me. And it is for parents to teach children, or to instill in children, how to have a certain amount of self-confidence and self-awareness. But kids gonna naturally just be kids, you know what I'm saying, and get into stuff and find their way to it. But that's why these people who have these platforms have to be mindful of what it is that they put out, because though it's not your responsibility to be a role model for people's kids, the reality of the situation is you are.
Do you feel like the whole plastic surgery thing is driven by insecurities, or more so trendy?
I think it's a combination of things, because being from Miami, you know what I'm saying, plastic surgery is something that everybody, mama, auntie, cousin, grandma, you know, done did before in some way, shape, or form. So I feel like it depends on what you are exposed to. And then you have it being trendy in certain areas, like, I don't know, let's take somewhere smaller or something, or an area where the women are naturally built BBL style, and you just so happen to be one of the ones who you ain't get that blessing. So now you feel inspired or pushed to want to go get work done. Granted, I don't see an issue with getting work done. I think it just gets overwhelming when it's things that aren't natural, like, or if it don't look natural. But the reality of the situation is beauty standards are changing. We are reverting, and that's why we see shows like this, Plastic Surgery Rewind, and that's why we see people like K. Michelle removing her butt implants. Dream Doll went down on her sizing of everything. We have Kim Kardashian, who removed all of these different things. So beauty standards are ever changing. So you just have to have a certain amount of self-confidence to know that, like, nothing new under the sun is coming out, but just weather the storm. Your season coming back in. Light-skinned niggas was in at one moment, and then everybody loved all the tall, dark-skinned niggas. And then light-skinned niggas was cheesy. And then, you know, it's like everybody liked a little short, curvy girl, but then back in the day, we was considered a little chunky and a little stubby. It just, you know, it just depends. And then now nobody wants the thin America's Next Top Model skinny girl. You know what I'm saying? She might not be the trim right now. It might be the slim, thick, curvy, kind of skinny, but she got a little booty on her kind of vibe. Just, the world is ever changing. Be okay with who you are, and then if you're not okay with it, do something to change it. And it ain't necessarily got to always be plastic surgery.
Go to the gym.
You could definitely go to the gym, for sure.
The gym ain't never hurt nobody.
Now, Dante, I don't know if you saw this, but I thought that this was an interesting clip that just randomly popped up on the internet, and it was about Chance the Rapper expressing that he used to be in special education classes, and that he had an IEP being from like grade school all the way to high school. Why are you laughing? It took so much vulnerability for that man to get up there and tell y'all
I'm trying out
in special education classes.
I'm not laughing at him being in special ed.
What are you laughing at, man?
I don't know.
They're gonna cancel your ass, and they should.
No.
He talking about he don't know.
They should not cancel me. I
He's
swear.
laughing because that boy was in special ed. Now, Chance the Rapper.
I think I'm just trying to visualize him in special ed on the bus.
Who said he rode the short bus? He just didn't go to all his classes. He had to go to special classes.
I swear, I just laughed. I didn't say
Dante
nothing.
done created all these stereotypes and stuff around it. Now, Chance the Rapper sat down with Way Up on Angela Yee, and he basically said that he had special education classes, and some of his classes he didn't go to. He went to a smaller version of the class that had 7 kids in it at a time, and that he had like a special like education plan that he had to follow and different things like that. And while talking about this conversation, he brought up something that was very important, and he said that sometimes diagnosis and classifying kids so early on and saying that they have like a reading disability or they in special ed or anything like that sometimes could affect their self-awareness and their self-confidence as they grow up. And he expressed that it was something that, at one point he used to feel like he was like a little delayed, like he had a learning disability, like really could not learn, or he wasn't that smart. And he said, fast forward, look at him now. He is who he is, and nobody would never be able to tell that he was in special ed. Dante, could you tell he was in special ed as an adult?
No, I actually cannot, but I can tell he's a little bit colorful. But there's nothing wrong with that.
He writes special. Like when you think about the way in which he writes his raps, he writes in a colorful, in a special way. So I'm not surprised. I feel like a lot of creative people.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. I'm not laughing at the fact that he said he feels like he is special ed. So please, because I just couldn't hold it in. I'm not laughing at that. But what I am laughing at the fact is that, I can see it in a good way.
Yeah.
Because most people, and I don't want to even use the word special. I don't want to use the word special ed. I think that's half the problem. Yeah. I don't want to categorize it as special ed. But what I would say is most people who identify as a little bit special do have like this creative ability. Yeah. Shit, I might be special. People say I got Tourette's. People say I got all type of shit.
I think I'm special. I know I'm special. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Sometimes I can be a little ADD, a little ADHD, and sometimes I can be a little dyslexic.
Sometimes I be on my shamar,
Man, get out of here. Are you kidding me? Y'all, Dante is on one, and that's all I gotta say. Dante, I think that this conversation right here was actually a conversation for the culture. Simply because, like, I agree with what he's saying. I'm sure going through grade school all the way through high school, he probably, used to get picked on or used to get called slow or whatever the case may be, and now it's like, look at half them people that
now they following behind him trying to get a job.
No, seriously, like even bigger, the people that diagnose you probably still at that school diagnosing other people kids ain't had a promotion or a job switch up in the longest of time. So it's really not about how you start. It's really about developing yourself and pushing past stuff.
And all BS aside, when he said what he said about not classifying kids too early, yes, I do agree.
Yeah.
I do agree. All jokes aside, I agree with that because I feel as though the minute you put a kid who's still in the mindset of developing their brain, developing who they are at such a crucial age, now you've given them a stamp.
Yeah.
And now they can't unsee that for themselves.
Yeah.
Because now they walk around with it as a crutch. And it's only a crutch to them because everybody around them makes it a crutch.
Yeah.
That's like it's like a kid, a young girl or a young guy. If you tell them they're ugly when they're a kid, they grow up thinking they have some type of deformity or that they're not the prettiest or they're not the most handsomest one in the room. Yeah, but if you constantly pour into them in a positive light by telling them you do look good, you all of this stuff, you build their confidence. And so when they get to an age where the world tries to tell them who they are, they can't.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
very vital.
I do feel like there is an adverse effect to telling a child, hey, you have special needs.
Yeah.
Or you're a special ed. I ain't gonna even say special needs, special ed.
Yeah. Now that right there is definitely for the culture.
It is. Just when y'all thought. Now, some other things that are not for the culture, but it's in the culture right now and it's been happening. Apparently, the rapper T-Hood was fatally shot about a week ago in a situation that happened with Kelsie, which is Kelsie Frost, Kirk Frost and Rashida Frost's daughter, and her brother allegedly is involved in. Now, Daysha, without getting too much into all the details, because some of the details are still developing, but basically there was an altercation. They got into an argument. This argument led into some type of physical altercation, which was also released on video. There was some video footage released about the situation. And we see the argument and we see the situation that took place. But then the story behind it says that Kelsie's brother was involved in his murder. Now, initially, her and her family came out and said we had nothing to do with the young man's murder, and please respect our family by keeping us out of that conversation. Now, that was at first. But now, developing more news, within this video, she's saying that she's kind of apologizing for her brother's behavior, which insinuates that he had something to do with the situation, alleged. All of this is alleged, nothing for sure yet.
To be honest, it's not alleged because it was also stated that authorities named Kai Frost as one of their biggest and main focus as far as suspects
have they
go.
said he actually is the person who killed him?
No, they haven't, but they did say that that's the top person that they focused on right now. And to backtrack on the video of Kelsie and T Hood's altercation where he kind of like snatched her out the bed and it kind of looked like he like strangling her or choking her or something along those lines. He also swings on her at one point through that video. They're alleging that that video may have been the altercation that led to her calling her brother, or it may have been a totally different date. So basically, T Hood's family is calling for that video date and time to be released to kind of see if that was the thing that initiated the whole situation or if that is an old incident and situation. There is a bunch of different like moving parts and developments around this situation because one of Kelsie's friends, one of her homegirls, was the person that released the video of the altercation, just basically trying to clear her friend name to show like she has been abused and to also express that T Hood had a drug problem of some sort. So,
I would definitely say even with the video, even if it's old, in a case like this, that still sets a tone for a pattern of behavior that is possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now you still can't say it's above his character to hit on her or beat her or abuse her because we have it on video. So it has happened before. So a good lawyer can get in court and still fight that.
For sure. A good lawyer can. And I guess we shall see how this situation develops because I'm sure Kurt and Rashida gonna have to step to the front and talk about a little something. Because right now, they two kids.
Rashida, go on tour. Leave this situation alone.
Tied up. Rashida might have to go on tour, baby. She might have to get out there, put it on, make one to marry me. No, you want to chew all of my bubble gum. Because she need that money for her baby.
To take to her mama house.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, we shall figure out what's going on there. Now, Dante, I'm going to say for this situation, this is definitely a...
I can't give it clickbait.
No, I can't give it clickbait either. I'm not gonna lie, because is this something that we see of our culture? Yes. Like, do we see domestic violence situations that escalate all the way to the point of somebody losing their life? Yeah, this is actually something that's fairly cultural. You know what I'm saying? Like, do brothers retaliate on their sister's behalf? Yeah, this is something that we see that culturally happens.
I'm going to say it like this, and I'm going to say it in the nicest way I can, because I'm going to actually give this cultural. But my wording, when I say this to you guys, this is only cultural because stop putting your hand on people's freaking sisters.
Yeah.
Like they ain't got brothers and family that care about them.
Nah, seriously.
And I'm not saying the young man deserved what he got. That ain't what I said. I'm saying stop putting your hand on people's sisters.
Yeah, no, seriously, because you swinging and somebody come and shooting, and that's why you got to learn to literally keep your hands to yourself. Just like, people in general.
Walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away, bro. It's never, I swear to God, it's never that deep.
Because the reason you should have walked away is because you see you ain't walk away. Now you either on the escalator to heaven or, you know.
It's just like a life taken too short.
Or going
too early.
Going down the
for
stairs.
Something that could have been avoided. Y'all, this whole situation could have been avoided just by walking away. Once again, we don't know the full situation, but we do know and we have proof that you have abused this woman, right? So now, yes, at that point, if something did happen, and we're going to say allegedly because we don't know if her brother had anything to do with it, but if it did, he's technically justified.
Yeah, one could understand. The court may not look at it like that, but
I guarantee
on some regular person day-to-day shit,
right?
one could understand. I could tell you that.
Cause it reminds me of that whole situation that happened with the young man who came and he called the police and told the police that he was gonna kill the guy who I think he abused his son, and he literally called the police on himself and said, "I'm gonna kill him."
Yeah.
And did exactly what he said he was gonna do.
Yeah, because some people don't play that shit.
Like, you put your hands on people's kids, you have to be ready for the consequences that come with that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So for me, that's why it's for the culture. Culture of keep your hands to yourself.
I know that's right. Now, y'all, Teyana Taylor has definitely taken to the internet, and she has released her track list for her new album, but then she also released the little snippet teaser vibes of her visual album process too.
Teyana Taylor.
Yes, I love this. So I'm so excited about this album because Teyana has like narrations from some of the best people. We got Regina King,
Jill Scott.
Yes. We have
Issa Rae.
Kerry Washington. We have Taraji P. And Issa Rae is actually one of my favorites because I feel like Issa Rae is the voice inside of all women's head, in a sense. So I think her being on that project and the vulnerability and the space that Teyana was in when creating this project, I think that Issa is kind of like a dope person to have on here. But we have amazing features as well. Like her two daughters are features on one of her songs on the album. We have Tyler on there as well. We have Jill Scott on there as well. So she has some pretty dope features. She also has Lucky Day. So I'm excited to see what happens in there. I feel like everything that Teyana does in reference to a visual is always aesthetically pleasing, or it's always like super satisfying to your eyes, or it like caters to your creative thought processes. And I'm kind of excited to see what Teyana does with this visual album, because you know the people are having a good run with visual albums right now. We had Keke Palmer drop a visual album, and that actually was like really dope. It told us a nice little story, and I feel like Teyana is gonna set the tone and tell us a nice story as well, because storytelling is something that she's actually really amazing at. So I'm excited to see what this is.
So I have two things to say here. First is I love Teyana Taylor to death, and I love her idea of storytelling. I feel like there's not so many artists today that do well at executing a story and telling it in its fullness.
Yeah.
And Teyana Taylor gives me that, from the visuals to the way she rolls it out. Like everything becomes a part of the story.
Yeah, the dance moves, the
Every
outfits,
pose,
the sets,
everything is strategic. Like, she gets into the rollout.
Yeah.
The rollout becomes her life. It becomes the era. It becomes a persona. Like, and I love that.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like Teyana Taylor is one of the few people, and when I say few, I mean only Teyana Taylor and maybe Tory Lanez and probably one or two other people outside of Beyonce and Usher and Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Outside of those three, that could do it in this era and tell that story. Keep us captivated from the moment you actually talk about releasing the music to the time the music comes out.
Yeah.
You know, keep us there and take us on that journey with you. So she does a good job at it. Now, what I like about Teyana Taylor is her ability to really, really creatively show off her cinematic skills.
Yeah.
Her acting skills and her ability to direct.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, it's hard for them to do both.
Yeah. Her execution is so amazing that it proves that she is a student to her craft. But she's a student in the aspect of all the caps that she wears. It's not like she overly focused on one thing more than the other thing. I think she does a good job at compartmentalizing and giving each thing what it needs in the moment that it needs it. And then she also does a good job at merging them all together as well. And we see it all the time with anything that the aunties produce or anything that Teyana got her hands on, we literally can tell that it's a Teyana touch.
Like, I love the photo with her with the thorns coming out.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I was like, now that's dope.
Yep.
You know, especially with the idea of the escape room. Like, this is even the story that it's telling. It's telling her getting out of this toxic relationship and what she went through. So, you know, the thorns become a symbol of something that I'm sure we're gonna see in the actual video.
Yeah.
The clocks that she had in the trailer is yet another moment where it's like, anybody else thinking about that type of stuff? Like, the girl brain is phenomenal, and I love it.
Yeah, it really is. I love to see it
One
as well.
time for the culture for Teyana Taylor.
For sure. Now we have another girly who is giving an OD to Jay-Z and
Cardi B.
Yes, Cardi B dropped her single "Imaginary Player," and let's just say she aired shit out.
My dog say I got big clocks.
She literally is airing shit out. Now there's some split decisions on this particular song here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen on the internet people saying like, oh, Cardi in her 90s, early 90s, like rap bag. It's so dope to see her like really feel like a rapper. Like, she kind of going hard with this. And you got people who get the whole Jay-Z reference and all of that. And then there's people that's like, it sounds like she reading and it sounds boring and it sounds choppy and they not really too moved by it. And you got some people who think that this is a little awkward of a situation to be the single for a project.
See, and here's my take on it. I feel like this is the perfect single for her project. Mm-hmm. And why I say that is because everything else Cardi gives us all sounds Cardi coded. Yes. We already sound her outside. We heard Up. Yeah. We heard those type of records. Yeah. So if she put out another one of those records, it's not gonna make nobody move. It's not gonna start a conversation. It's not gonna be a wow factor. It's not putting her in a different pocket. Even if you talking bad about it, there's nothing wow to talk about. Yeah. But Imaginary Players, whether you like it or don't like it, you talking. You opening your mouth and you going at it. Yeah. You giving her the dialogue she needs. And that's all she wanted. And so for me, that's what a single to a project is supposed to do. Yeah. It's supposed to get you talking. Whether you telling me you like it or not, you're talking.
Yeah, it's valid. That's valid. I honestly don't have nothing to say to that. So
for me, the record, now when we talk about the record itself, I like the record. I think it was dope. I think it was something out of the pocket of what we're used to hearing from her. It makes me want to hear more. You know, Cardi hasn't put out a project in a while. So I want to hear what variety you coming with. I don't want to hear the same old outside shaking my ass and licking the cooch on the street type of record. Yeah. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear something different. She talked about her fashion in this. She talked about how, you know, her stands, of course. She talked about her haters. She talked about everybody. Yeah. Granted, she do it in all her records, but this one she did it in a different way. Different cadence, different sound, different style. Yeah. And all I can do is appreciate the difference in it and the journey she's taking us on.
Yeah, for sure. I'm open to the journey that she's taking us on as well, because something that we talk about a lot is the fact that people sound the same and people get caught up in that broken record kind of like feel, or where you listen to their project and it feels like you listen to one big song. So I'm excited to see what Cardi has in store, because this just kind of shows that hopefully we get privacy Cardi, but like privacy 2.0.
It'll definitely probably be Privacy 2.0.
Like Cardi. And I'm looking forward to that, because ran down on a bitch twice. Like, Cardi, come on, get back in your bag. Hard. Seriously. He used to love that song. I thought you were gonna
jump out with the dance moves.
Nah.
I ain't gonna lie, that record was hot though.
I do got choreo to that.
Down on that twice.
Yeah, definitely learned a dance or two to that. But
that was old Cardi. That was red bandana Cardi.
Yeah, no, it was, for sure. I don't know, Dante, is this for the culture for you?
I would say this is a little clickbait. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's cultural, but it's good clickbait. Once again, it's clickbait because it's something meant to move the people.
And we're talking about it.
You know, right. Get them talking. It made it here. It's meant for the project. That was the whole purpose of it. Even down to the little conversation that they starting about. It's ironic that it's a Jay-Z sample when Jay-Z got beef with Nicki and she's talking about her haters. You know, of course, you know, the conspiracies that's going to come about. But, hey, I love it. That makes a good single to me. Once again, in the art of rolling out a song, if we ain't talking about it, then it ain't good.
The end.
Now, somebody else who's rolling out something is 2 Chainz. He is rolling out the soundtrack to Red Clay. And it will be released on August 22nd. Now, if you guys haven't heard some of the singles that's released from it, I know he just released one with Neo, and there was another record that has been out. I would say I would go listen to it, because so far as the songs that I have heard sound pretty decent. Yeah. So I'm ready to see what that's about as well. I haven't heard nothing really from 2 Chainz in a while.
I just love 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz is literally one of those artists that he could literally go on a hiatus and not make no music, just shoot the podcast with his son. Be a regular dad and a husband, and then he could literally get on a beat and turn into Titty Boy, like, out of nowhere. And 2 Chainz always just has a way about himself to give you something that's a bop. Like, you gonna always vibe to anything that 2 Chainz do. I can't name a 2 Chainz song that I never vibed to or that I didn't like. And I think I'm just now coming to that realization that I can't name a 2 Chainz song that I don't like.
I can't name a song that I don't like, but then again, I only listen to the 2 Chainz songs that I like. So,
AKA, I'm not saying, hey, drop that new 2 Chainz. That's what you trying to say, but that's cool. I'ma stick with what I said. I love 2 Chainz.
I love 2 Chainz though.
Yeah, it's always about very energy, always giving what it needs to. I would say 2 Chainz is for the culture. It's 2 Chainz.
It's for the culture. I can give him that.
Yeah, it's like
Ducats.
yes, he's a and he's culturally stamped.
Not a Why my dog gotta be a
He is. That man ain't like super young.
Technically, he is He's not big bro status no more.
See what I'm saying? You know what I was talking about. Now, you guys, we have to talk about one last music take, and that is Metro Boomin dropped his project, Futuristic Summa, and it's so cute to me. Y'all don't think it's cute?
They gotta feed the streets.
And that's exactly what he's doing. I think this is a cute project because I think he's catering to his core audience, which is like his ATLians. Like, why would he not hold it down for his city?
That album was definitely an ATL.
It's very ATL. The whole album, all you doing is it. It is. The whole album, even like the people that he decided to put on it, just like
they going back to
Roscoe Dash, Rich Kids,
Nay-nay.
like Schoolie, just a little bit of everybody. Like, it just
what's up?
And that's what the whole album feels just like that song. The whole thing. I listened to probably a solid like 7 songs on the project. I didn't fully make it through the whole thing, but my little favorite song right now is "Okay to Admit." So bad you can make me new. That little song. It's cute. It's on TikTok. It's on TikTok and it's actually going pretty viral on TikTok right now. The kids are eating it up. But it's the song with Schoolie. What is it called?
That one.
Loose Screws. I had to think about it. Loose Screws. That's actually one of the hardest little songs on that project.
Come on, Loose Screws.
You ain't hear it on TikTok?
I probably didn't know
I sent you a TikTok.
Oh, that was that
Yes.
song. Okay, so I do like that
That's
song.
from his project.
I do like that song.
You didn't do your research today.
I know. I didn't know. I didn't listen to the album.
AKA you didn't do your research today. That's just what you just said.
No, I didn't listen to the album.
Yeah, it's okay. Smile and nod. That was our last one. We could take it out.
Cheese. Smile, Marlon. Say cheese.
All right, you guys. This has been another great episode of Culture or Clickbait. I'm your girl, Daysha.
And I'm your boy, Dante.
And y'all already know we take the hottest headlines in music, sports, and entertainment, and we determine whether it's for the culture
or simply just ass.
What?
For clicks.
Are you kidding me? Y'all, we are out. This is crazy.